Hi, I'm Luca Perfetti, professor at l'École Polytechnique and co-founder together with Marino Marzio of the platform FemtoArpes. The FemtoArpes platform is operating since 2011 in Synchrotron Soleil and is a collaboration together with Laboratoire des Solides Irradiés and Laboratoire de Physique des Solides.
I am Marino Marzi, professor at the University Paris-Saclay and co-founder of the FemtoArpes platform together with Luca Perfetti. The other two researchers that took part of the project from the very beginning are Evangelos Papalasarou and Amina Taleb Ibrahimi. The other permanent staff involved are Stefano Ponzoni, Siam Benhabib, and Yanis Laplace. We are in the process of a major upgrade towards a new phase that we can call FemtoArpes 2.0. This upgrade of the platform is taking place on two separate setups. On one side, we are developing short pulses and tunable excitation. On the other one, we are developing extension of the photon energy range to the VUV and microfocusing of the probe.
The installation here in Soleil is optimized in order to have broadband and short pulses. So in terms of DARPAs, a first pulse excites our sample and a second one probe it, emitting photoelectrons that then we detect as a function of energy and momentum. By this means, and varying the time delay between pump and probe, we can reconstruct snapshots of the dynamics of a real system. An ytterbium-based laser delivers pulses with a repetition rate of 300 kHz and an average power of 40 watts. Half of the beam power is directed to an optical parametric amplifier and followed by a fourth harmonic generator. The fourth harmonic generation is obtained by a cascade of nonlinear optical processes obtained in BBO crystals. The resulting probe pulses are centered at 195 nanometer and post-compressed to the duration of 80 femtoseconds. The remaining laser power will be routed to a second optical parametric amplifier, providing a pump beam with wavelength tunable in the visible and infrared spectral range. A motorized delay stage controls the pump probe delay, while optical lenses focus the two beams almost collinearly on the sample. The probe induces photoelectron emission, and these electrons are collected by a hemispherical analyzer and mapped on a multi-channel trunk plate. Here you see an angular calibration of a detector by means of a grid that has been inserted in the path of the photoelectrons. Samples are prepared in situ in an ultra-high vacuum environment, and here you see a typical example of electron beam evaporator that allow us to give a monitored and very stable flux of different material that we can evaporate in ultra-high vacuum conditions. The surface and interfaces are characterized by different methods. One is the low-energy electron diffraction, in which you do see a pattern of electron directly diffracted by our surface on a phosphorus screen. Then Auger spectroscopy, that is operated by an electron gun, inducing this kind of transition and detected by our hemispherical analyzer. And finally, a plasma discharge UV lamp whose light is monochromatized and collected by a capillary focused then on the sample. By a look in the chamber, you can see our manipulator that has got 5 axes of movement, the nose of the analyzer, and the hand of the lamp capillary. The typical data that we obtain are two-dimensional intensity map at different pump probe delay. In this particular case, you see electrons first excited in highly energetic bands and then relaxing very fast in momentum and more slowly in energy towards the bottom of a conduction band. So as a complementary characterization technique, we also developed time-resolved terahertz spectroscopy. This setup allows the full reconstruction of a terahertz waveform transmitted or emitted by our interface. It's going to be complementary to ARPES because it can be employed to detect collective modes, plasmon, phonons, or ultrafast currents. The laser hit an antenna that generates terrestrial radiation that is collimated and then focused on a zinc telluride crystal, followed then by an electro-optic sampling detection system. We can use the antenna as a source of terahertz in order to do terahertz spectroscopy, but we can also take a look at specific samples that emit by themselves, and whose emission is very interesting for us, both from a physical and a practical point of view. So the new setup will be capable of probing the photoelectrons with a fourth harmonic at 6.2 electron volt, and pumping on a large spectral window from the visible 360 nanometer down to the mid-infrared at roughly 10 micron.
The second installation of our renovated platform is located at the Laboratoire de Physique des Solides d'Orsay. It broadens and increases our capabilities by developing complementary features to the other installation. This system is used to operate a RTOF spectrometer and perform time-resolved ARPES in this configuration. We use this 800 nanometer source to generate the fourth harmonic to obtain 6.2 eV photons that are used as a probe for our photoemission process. We have already developed and used a microfocusing system which is very useful to study small size samples. This makes it possible to study 2D materials and heterostructures, where the useful area is of the order of few microns. The experimental station is equipped with a cryogenic manipulator, which makes it possible to move all the 6 axes for the sample and to reach temperatures as low as 20 Kelvin, thanks to a shielded cryostat. What is specific is also the electron spectrometer, which is an RTOF, angle-resolved time-of-flight analyzer. The energy is measured through the time of flight of the photoelectrons. In the end, there is a 2D detector that collects the photoelectrons, and from the position of the detector, we can find out both wave vector components of the photoemitted electron, so that with the same signal, we can collect simultaneously energy and 2 components of the wave vector for the photoelectron. By changing the photoelectron energy, you see very clearly appearing the hexagonal warping in the bath structure of these topological insulators for the surface states. We are now developing an extension of the photon energy range of the probe by reaching 10.8 eV by generating the 9th harmonic of an ytterbium-doped fiber laser. First, we generate the 3rd harmonic of the 1040 nanometer 300 femtosecond laser source by frequency upconversion in crystals. Then we generate the 3rd harmonic of this 345 nanometer beam in a xenon gas atmosphere. This process exploits an optical resonance in xenon, making the photon generation more efficient. As a result, it is possible to have a high flux VUV source at high repetition rate, very well adapted for time-resolved ARPES. This source will be particularly useful when used in combination with the RTOF spectrometer, because it will make it possible to cover the whole Brillouin zone of most quantum materials and collect the useful photoelectron signal all at once. The 2 installations, taken as a whole, represent a very competitive platform for time-resolved ARPES today. They cover experiments that require short pulse duration and tunable excitation, with experimental needs which are focused on small spot size and extension in the VUV of the probe photon energy.
A new horizon open up when you can explore the condensed matter out of equilibrium conditions. For example, you can take a look at the cooling of hot electrons in aggressively downscaled circuits, and you can even use light to photoinduce phase transitions in materials where interactions between electrons and phonons are very strong, and that can be eventually even be used for neuromorphic applications. Since it has been first operational in 2011, FemtoARPES made possible many scientific breakthroughs, and many more will be possible with the new sources that will be installed. Moreover, we will be open to users via the GDR app, so you are welcome for future experiments.